Despite a boycott effort from many individuals, Nintendo is apparently ordering 25 million new Switch 2 units by March. This is crazy. Let's talk about it here on That Gameplays. All right, coming at you from the good folks over at Nintendo Life, a personal side of mine that I've always been a big fan of. This article is coming to you by PJ O'Reilly. The headline states, Nintendo reportedly increases Switch 2 production to 25 million units for year one. All right. Nintendo has apparently requested its global suppliers to pump out as many as 25 million Switch 2 console units by the end of March 2026. If the Big N can manage this, it would set the company up for meeting the demand of what's set to be a record-breaking first year of sales for the new console. Well, guys, I don't think that boycott went too well. According to Bloomberg, people familiar with the matter say that Nintendo has requested a boost in production in order to maximize potential sales across Christmas as Switch 2 continues to crush expectations. Analysts were already predicting it will sell 17.6 million devices by the end of March 2026. So with these production figures, that figure looks to be comfortably surpassed and reach 20 million, at least based on the shipping estimates from its assembly partners. Now, will these systems sell from retail? That remains to be seen. But Bloomberg intelligence industry analyst Nathan Nadu says that this reinforces our view that its 15 million unit sales target is conservative and a guidance upgrade appears imminent. The console sold 5.8 million units in its first month globally versus the original Switch's 2.7 million launch sales, he continues. Now, keep in mind to the audience at home, this was coming off the Wii U, which was not by any means a console juggernaut. This is coming off of the Nintendo Switch 1, which was one of the best-selling consoles ever. But he still continues that there are risks regarding US tariffs and that Nintendo might need to follow Microsoft and Sony in raising US prices of its console. Okay, can I please tell this guy to shut up? That would be an option here, because have you seen all the people on X taking literal screenshots of X discontinuing Xbox Game Pass? But the article goes on to say, still, with Nintendo already looking comfortable to surpass industry sales predictions and thrashing its own modest predictions for Switch 2 in its first year, and despite controversies over screen quality, game key cards, and the general state of the economy overall not having the kind of impact on sales some may have feared, it seems they are keen to push the advantage while the going is good for the console. Indeed, and as pointed out by Bloomberg, it shows a company in full flight, going all out to secure success for their flagship device. Sales are already trending 77% ahead of the original Switch's launch, which is much more than 76%. It's clear Nintendo is trying to make the most of its general excitement of the console. So it goes on to talk a bit about the percentages and yada, yada, yada. But I want to look at the bigger picture here. Culture, I'm going to give you the first word on this. I don't think they're learning their lesson, but maybe you have a different perspective here. I think they're seeing these sales, the public's there, and they're producing more, which, as someone who doesn't want a lot of consumers to be priced out, I'm not the biggest fan of this. What's your unique take on this?
I think the spreadsheet warriors that have made their ways into all of these corporations are not paying attention to trends. And they definitely aren't paying attention to the economy. So, look, sales definitely started to slow after the first month. They had to. Everybody who wanted one of these stood outside of stores waiting for the store to open to check every day if there were some. That eventually ends. Ask Xbox and PS5, right? Eventually, the people that definitely wanted one got one. I had one for Christmas the year it came out. So I'm just going to say, you get these. The problem is you have to recognize when the trend line is headed downward. And if they think that they're going to sustain sales at 25 million units a year, that's a pipe dream. Seeing money, as you mentioned before, Nolan, nobody's seeing money anymore. They want to, they'd like to, but all that money is still rolling into eating.
Yep.
Paying electric bills, paying a water bill.
And you can't eat a Switch 2. I've tried.
Yeah, it'd be kind of crunchy and gross. By the way, a lot of the components in it will kill you if ingested, but that's a whole other conversation. Let's just take a look at the fact that they could have done much better, and they don't recognize that. Again, that $50 that Argentum mentioned earlier, that's a big difference to people right now. That used to be the cost of a video game. So somebody that would buy one of these needs a game to play.
Yep.
And so that $50 means that they could play a game. And you'll make money on the back end. This is really bad. Again, I haven't been super excited about the Switch 2. I think I've been very transparent on that. And, I'm not a little bit jealous or angry at Kevin for acquiring one recently. Not at all.
Kevin, I'm going to give you the next word here. What's your perspective on this thing? Do you think this is just front heavy? Or do you think that this might mean like, hey, maybe they're gambling a little too high on this, so to speak, like maybe the trends are showing a very dangerous territory. I've seen it with some of the systems in the past. Even the Wii U had some strong sales from the start there. So what's your personal take in this matter?
I think they're praying for a Christmas miracle. I think they're thinking that people are and they may not be wrong. I think that they're looking at kind of where the state of the world is right now, and they're thinking that people are going to be willing to overspend during the holidays, and that if they're going to overspend, let them overspend on the Switch 2, and let's just flood the market with as many of these things as we can get out, and see how many of them we sell, and then worry about it in the back end. And I think it's foolish. And again, like everybody said tonight so far, is the extra amount of money that they have charged has shut out a big chunk, of their buyer base. Nintendo has for the last 25 years, as Sony and Microsoft were attacking each other, Nintendo slid in the sweet spot. It's like, hey, we're priced so you can buy either your a Wii or a Switch and a Sony or an Xbox. Now they've decided to go, well, now you have to pick between Sony, Xbox, and Nintendo. So which one is it going to be? I think the other part of it is I think that maybe they're expecting Xbox to croak just like we are, and they're hoping that they can fill the void for people who are looking for something. And like maybe your Aunt Rita, who doesn't know anything about video games, she just knows that they're all the same thing. And you wanted a little Xbox thing, but I got you a Switch. I couldn't find it. Target got rid of them.
I wish they would go back to the Game Boy. I love the black and white Marios.
The little Spider-Man game. That was fun to play. But yeah. I don't know. This is all just so asinine to me. The bring the price down, admit you made a mistake, and get everybody excited about it, and stop it with this lunacy of smashing people for $70 games. I get it. You tried it in the 90s, and it may have worked, but the 90s were also the world's angsty teen years, and we were a lot more free with money because things were cheaper then. So everything is super expensive. So Kevin, we have way more entertainment options. So
absolutely, more than ever before. With how dominant screens have been now in our society. I saw an image online. You gentlemen might have seen it too. I don't know, but it was I trying to remember what the X account was, but it was something. It might have been just the old internet, which is a great account. I recommend giving them a follow. I was looking at some of their old DOA ads from back in the day, but it was showing an image. Now, granted, this is from a company that was in desperation mode because they were like third in the console race, but they were literally showing like Walmart shelves, and they were selling GameCubes from about 2001, 2002, $50 a bone, which was a bargain even back then. Fast forward 25 years later, and you can barely make the ends meet just to get a Switch 2 that has Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and an overpriced tutorial game and the Switch 1 category, which you probably already bought, seeing as how it was following up a record-breaking system. And yeah, like, this stuff worries me. Because I heard a great take in regards to Grand Theft Auto 6, which is also rumored right now to be at $100. And I heard a great take. I wish I could remember this gentleman's name or girl, whoever they see themselves as. They said if they make them $100 now, 2 years from now, they'll start saying $127 needs to be adjusted to be the industry standard. And at some point, you know, a line in the sand needs to be drawn. We say in history, you know, a certain percent tax increase. Eventually, they've gone too far, you know. Next thing you know, they're dumping the tea in the ocean. But I'm not saying we need to go that far. But Nintendo, you've had a reputation of affordability for a long time. And if you don't have enough games to make up for that fact, it's not going to look too positive going here. Colt, you have any closing thoughts before I wrap this story up?
Nintendo better figure out they need to lower the price of their consoles because their games are priced too high.
Good. Well said. Well said. And you know what? If we finally get that price decrease news from Nintendo, I will proceed to wake up from my dream. But no, if that does break, we'll cover it here on That Game Place, baby.